We can also be heard with the KOFA app and at kawc.org. We have been a service of Arizona Western College since 1970.
The First Amendment, the first one, enshrines the right to a free press in the United States. Help NPR and this station keep exercising this critical right by making your gift today. And thank you.
Give now by visiting kawc.org/donate. And thanks.
Are we on? What's up, Yuma? I'm Johnny Porter, and on today's program, we have Jailene Aguilera. She is a local news anchor right here at KYMA. We're going to find out how she ended up here, and I think Carmen has something to do with it, as well as Dr. Destiny Johnson. Doctor, maybe she could, cure me or something. No, she's not that type of doctor, but she did write a book, so we're going to find out more about that. So stay with us for What's Up Yuma Radio, beginning right now on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
And streaming online at borderradioaz.org and on the KOFA app. You can also view our show on the Border Radio Facebook page and the KAWC YouTube page. And don't forget that you can reach out to us by email at whatsupyumaradio@gmail.com.
Chili from Philly. Nick Papa Giorgio from Yuma.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to another episode of What's Up Yuma Radio. We are here today joined by somebody that's probably a familiar face if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, and maybe a familiar voice if you're listening. I'm talking about Jailene Aguilera. She's from KYMA, right?
Yes, I am.
Right? And I asked that because like everything's kind of housed in the same place, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We're all just housed in, so we have like News 11, we have Fox 9, we have CBS. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're busy out there.
Yeah. So, a quick question on that. So, do you also do stuff for KSWT and the other one? I know Fox is a little bit different.
Yeah.
But did you also do?
Yeah. So I also was part of 13 on Your Side on.
There you go, 13 on Your Side. Yeah. Okay.
So that's kind of where I started.
Am I dating myself calling it that? KSW. Anyway, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. But you're right. So it was for 13 on Your Side. That's kind of where I started anchoring.
Oh, that's where you started.
Started anchoring.
Anchoring. Yes. Okay. So started anchoring because there's a difference, and I should have this in my notes, between reporting. Reporting's out in the field.
Yes.
Anchoring, you're sitting behind the desk being very serious.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're more serious, right? Like, yeah, it's a little bit different. Yeah. But let's go back. Let's talk about how you ended up here in Yuma. And Carmen has a link to it. It's pretty cool. We're going to get to that.
Yeah.
But where'd you originally grow up?
So I originally grew up, I was born and raised in the San Fernando Valley, which is out in LA, just north of Los Angeles. You just got to hop over like the Hollywood Hills.
Okay.
And boom, you see the valley, which a lot of people may know about because they see it in the movies, TV shows, all that. So that's where I grew up.
Yeah. So what's the, like, give me a city that's over there.
So we have Northridge, we have Simi Valley, we have Burbank.
Oh, Burbank.
We have
Okay.
Glendale, we have Sylmar, which is where I'm located, where my parents are from. And then we have Calabasas, Hidden Hills, which is where like the Kardashians live.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
How far were you from the Kardashians?
I would say like 30 minutes. Just they were in the opposite side of the valley. So
okay.
That's why I love that show.
Yeah. So my best friend, he worked, I think, in is it Pasadena or something?
Pasadena?
But there's another Pasadena over there. Anyway, he works at like a high-end grocery store over there.
Erewhon?
No, there's another one that he worked at, but close. It's almost like that. And he would always talk about all the famous people that would come in that he would interact with. And he's like, yeah, I saw, this is a while back. He's like, I saw Britney Spears today, and I saw Magic Johnson, or I saw this person. He would always tell me.
You
and I was
see
like,
lots of celebrities there, even in the valley. The valley is where you'll probably see them the most.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So you grew up in the valley. You're young. When did you get bit by the bug that you want to do something on TV or news? Were you pretty young at that time? Or?
Yeah, so when I graduated high school, I knew I wanted to do something with TV. I didn't know if it was TV or movies. I knew I wanted to be a director.
So high school.
Yeah, but I wasn't sure exactly yet which route I was going to take. So I went to junior college out in Santa Clarita, which is like 15 minutes away from where I live.
Okay, before we get there, though, I want to talk about real quick. So you're in high school. You want to do TV. What was that? What prompted that?
I just knew it was meant for something bigger.
Gotcha. Okay, so you're there. You're around it. Maybe you see, like you said, you see celebrities, stuff like that, and then you're like in person and you're watching. It's like, I can do that, or like I want to be like that, or
Yeah. So growing up, like in a Hispanic household, we always watched the evening newscasts.
Okay,
so
there
that
we go.
always interested me when I was pretty young, and I would be kind of terrified of watching what was going on in the news. But I did see the anchors at the time, and I always thought they were so beautiful and elegant, and the way poised and how they presented themselves. And I was like, when I'm older, I want to look just like them. But then I started getting more and more into like how like their careers. So then in college, I started exploring a lot of media classes, but I wasn't sure yet exactly which route I was going to go.
So you just knew somewhere in that vicinity, I want to go there. And that's okay. You're in high school, right? You don't know. You said director, though. Like, what director? Do you just want to tell people what to do? Like, where'd that come from?
Yeah,
or
I like
is it
telling people what to do.
You do? Okay, well, that's good. That's good to know. Because I think you also are the assistant director here. So, okay, but like director also did movies director? Did that fascinate you?
That always did fascinate me, just because where I live in the San Fernando Valley, there's a lot of movie production. So you always see, people out there filming something. So the school that I went to in my junior college, they were always filming all the time. I know they filmed like Euphoria there. I know they filmed what's that John Tucker Must Die movie?
Yeah.
They filmed that.
I like that movie. That's a good movie, actually.
They also filmed oh gosh, what's that one other movie? The Girl Next Door there. So they filmed a lot of stuff. So in the San Fernando Valley, they're always filming. So I was like, man, maybe I can do that too.
So do that too, the directing part though.
Yeah.
So like, did you see directors? Did you get to see some of that stuff?
I was always spotting like who the director was,
Gotcha.
but I couldn't really pinpoint who they were. I just always saw like the camera crew, like the wardrobe people there. So it always kept me guessing, like, okay, who's the director?
Who's the director?
Yeah.
But you just know I want to tell people what to do, and that sounds like a director role. So I'm going to either do something around that line.
Exactly.
So then you go to school. We'll pick back up at that point of the conversation. Where'd you go to school first?
I went to College of the Canyon, which is in Santa Clarita Valley. So go Cougars. I always make that joke with people.
You're a Cougar?
I used to be a former Cougar.
Wow, you're pretty young to be a Cougar, but hey, it is what it is, all right?
Right. So I tell people that, so I went to College of the Canyons, and that's where I started my journalism journey, basically. So I was taking a media class. My professor at the time told us that he also, besides media, I think it was like Media 101, he also teaches a journalism class. So he was already telling us like, hey, if anyone's interested in journalism, I'm teaching that class in the spring semester. Whoever wants to, be part of it can sign up. So I was like, man, I really like this teacher. So I'm going to sign up and see, what it's all about.
So you're in media, you're doing it. You like the teacher. He's offering this thing. You said, I'm going to check this out. And what happens when you do?
So I didn't know it was so like hands-on, like it was like a newsroom. So it was like it was literally what it is like at KYMA. So we have a whole newsroom, we have a studio, and he's telling us like, okay, so basically in this class, you're going to learn to be a reporter, a producer, director, and an anchor. And a cameraman. So
very holistic then. You're going to learn all these parts, which is good because then you also know like, okay, what it's like to be on the other side, right? Depending on which role that you take, but you're on the other side. So you kind of like have some empathy for him when your director's telling you like, do it this way or whatever. Yeah. So you're doing all that and then you fall in love with one of them or?
I did. In the beginning, I was like, man, this is tough. Like, this is really hard because we still had to go out there, look for stories, what's going on in the community, find people to interview. We're basically filming everything on our own, writing our script, and then we had 2 weeks to prepare that news story because every 2 weeks we had our newscast on
gotcha.
the website. So now in my profession, it takes us less than a day.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
put together. So it teaches you how to, manage your time. So at that time when I was being a reporter, I didn't really like it because I was like, man, this is tough. But what really drew me to it, I will never forget this story. So at the time I was also interning in Santa Clarita for the local newspaper. And my boss at the time, his name was Austin. His name is Austin Dave. He also would go out and bring his camera and start filming like everything that's happening in Santa Clarita, like capturing like what's going on. Like the minute he hears his police scanner, like, hey, there's an accident here, we go out there.
Gotcha.
So there was this one day where we were having really heavy rain, and where we live, we're next to like a foothill area. So there's a lot of flooding that happens in the area. So we got a call about a car that rolled over into this like heavy stream that was taking place in like the foothills area. So my boss wasn't in that morning just yet, but he told me, go to the area, check it out, see what's going on. ABC7 is out there, see what you can get. I get there, the local news station, ABC7, was there, and I see the vehicle already flipped over, basically. It's underwater at this point. And they're trying to talk to the victim, the guy who was trapped in there. So apparently he was trapped in this flood, where he was trapped in the flood, and somebody behind him saw that the flood kind of took the vehicle with him. They broke the window, got him out. This guy he almost died, basically.
So he was rescued.
And so ABC7's trying to get an interview with him. This poor man's like shivering, like scared to death, right? And they can't really communicate with him because of that, the language barrier.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So the reporter didn't really know Spanish. The man only knew Spanish. So I get there. I talk to him, and I try to comfort him as much as possible because this man's freezing. He's shaking. And I started to have a conversation with him, and I told him, well, what happened? Like, are you okay? Like, he starts hugging me. I don't know who this guy is.
But he just needed that comfort at that moment. And he found somebody he could kind of relate to, and that, obviously spoke the same language.
Yeah, so I started speaking to him in Spanish, and I asked him, how, like, are you okay? And he just started telling me that he has 2 kids. He has a daughter and a son, and that's immediately who he started talking about. Like, he started talking to me about his kids, and he said he was really thankful for the people that, rescued him out. So as I'm still having a conversation with him, my boss gets there. So he's letting me talk to him the entire time. Meanwhile, he's setting up his camera, grabbing the mic. Like, he's like, no, keep talking to him. Keep talking to him. And then that's when he throws the mic, and we're like, I'm having a conversation with him, but we're also getting his story and how he got rescued. So that was something that really drew me to stick in journalism was, I'm telling his story and like how this guy almost had like a near-death experience.
It was like very human to human, and you're able to have this moment with somebody.
Yeah.
And then it kind of like, well, I can do this? Is that kind of how you felt?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like,
because it was real. It was genuine.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So it was very different from me telling like a story of like, hey, there's going to be this event going on, even though like that's informative, but what really got to me was telling people's like stories and, their experiences and like just putting that out there. That's kind of what made me stick in journalism.
Gotcha.
And the fact that, I have that ability to tell their story.
Very cool. So then that was a moment. So then you're saying, I'm going to stick this out. It's difficult. Some things I don't like about it, but I'm going to stick it out. And then what happens after that? Do you go on to another school?
Yeah. So then I was like, okay, well, I think I can, I think this is a career that I'm going to choose. Okay. So then I went to Cal State Northridge. I did get accepted into Arizona State University, but I wasn't really planning on going out of state. So I decided to stay local, and Cal State Northridge was just 15 minutes away from my house. So saved some big bucks there.
Yeah.
So I did that. At Cal State Northridge, I learned more how to do like the broadcasting, like as far as radio. I did more of my on-camera like newscasts more in junior college, but in Cal State Northridge, I learned how to do more radio. So
you're learning, like you're being multifaceted. You're learning different aspects and stuff. And so, what is your favorite? Is it anchoring? That what you're doing now? Would that be your favorite, or do you like going out there and getting the story still?
I like both.
Like both?
So what I find myself liking, I mean, I do like anchoring. Don't get me wrong. I think, and I tell everyone this because I'm an evening news anchor, you know, it's very serious.
Yeah.
It's very, like you're very just like, you can't really show like your personality. It's not fun all the time because it's always sometimes really, it's hard. Like it's either really sad or like something very serious, right?
Yes.
So I can't really like show like my personality that way, but I also really do love reporting as well. Lately, I've been very blessed to, you know, go out there and do breaking news as of lately now that I have a co-anchor with me. So that really helps out a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to find out, because you'd mentioned you didn't want to leave the city. You didn't want to leave Cali, but you did. And that's how you ended up here in the hot seat on What's Up Yuma Radio. We're going to find out a little bit more about that after a quick break. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
Yuma Community Theater is presenting 12 Angry Jurors, a movie adaptation depicting the contentious positions of jurors in a murder trial, discerning facts from their own preconceived notions. Performances are Friday, Saturday, and Sunday through February 1st at Desert Grace Community Church. Details and tickets are at yctaz.org.
This is 94.7 FM, KOFA Border Radio. I'm Juan Garcia from the KWC Newsroom. The weather forecast for Yuma today is sunny and breezy with the high near 77 and gusts as high as 20 miles per hour. Clear tonight with low around 49. A new Veterans Affairs outpatient clinic coming to the Yuma foothills next year will have to hire workers from understaffed hospitals due to workforce cuts and a reshaping of the Veterans Health Administration. For more details, visit kawc.org. Stay tuned at 94.7 FM.
I'm Public Radio Runner. Bonus Smiles is the music show where we share the stories and playlists that fuel runners. Join us on your local public radio station, KOFA at 94.7 FM. In our next episode, we hear from DeAndre Rogers and Devontae Gaskill and the tunes that power their runs.
Saturday morning starting at 5 here on Border Radio, KOFA.
The AWC Foundation is accepting nominations for the Arizona Western College Hall of Fame through March 14th. The Hall of Fame honors alumni, faculty, and community leaders who have made significant contributions to the mission of the college or in service to the larger world. More at foundation.azwestern.edu.
Bopping to the new beats heard around the world, or relaxing to the tunes of Memory Lane. We are your non-commercial source of music. Run by volunteer hosts, this is KOFA Border Radio, 94.7 FM, 1320 AM, on the KOFA app, or at borderradioaz.org.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up Yuma Radio. We are here speaking with Jailene Aguilera. She said, like Christina Aguilera, so I remembered that in my head, so I got it right. So we got to the point of the story. She's pulling on the thread. She's going through journalism. She found a very touching moment that she had with somebody and said, I could do this. And she also said that I'm going to bring up, she didn't want to leave California, but she did. So we're going to fast forward a little bit to because I know getting in the business, but people like kind of start in Yuma. That's like one of the places kind of you start. Even I don't know if you know this, but Will Ferrell has a whole story about they were going to send him to Yuma because he was going to be a news anchor. So that Ron Burgundy thing was actually has some truth to it.
Oh my gosh.
And he was like, I'm not going to Yuma, so I'm not going to be an anchor anymore. I'm not going to do this. So he chose a different path. But you were already you worked for places in LA, correct?
Yes, so I was an intern in Santa Clarita.
An intern, okay.
Yeah, but then I also was part of what they call a Telemundo Academy. So we got to work with a lot of people in either NBC 4 or Telemundo, so that we got to work with news directors, producers, anchors. So that's kind of what led me here, actually.
Gotcha, okay.
When I was in the Telemundo Academy in college, we were at the station out there in LA working with a news director in a conference room. And then that's where I met Yuma native Carmen Marquez.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's how. So I thought when I saw in the bio that when you worked around Telemundo that you actually worked there, but you were part of an intern.
Yeah.
So this is your start in Yuma.
It is.
Oh, okay. So I should do better research. Dang it.
No, you're good.
No.
You're good.
Yeah. But so then you're there. You're in part of this program, and then Carmen walks in.
Right.
You get to meet her, and so what happens?
So we're introduced to Carmen by her director at the time. He was like, so this is Carmen Marquez. She's from Yuma, Arizona. She's amazing. She's great. We're going to go in the studio and watch her do her cut-ins. So we watched her, and I was like, wow, this chick is great. She's awesome. So we all got to like take pictures with her, get to talk to her, ask her questions. And from there on out, I was already at the point of graduating because I was graduating in December. So one of the directors reached out and was like, okay, so like, what's your plan after college? And I was like, honestly, I'm really scared because I don't want to be without a job. As soon as I graduate college, like, I don't really have a plan. Like, I don't know where.
No plan. You're wondering, but you know that you need to make some money because you got bills to pay.
Yeah. So he's like, let me see if I can do something. And he calls Carmen. He's like, I'm going to get you a mentor. Calls Carmen. And she's like, I think we might have an opening somewhere in Yuma. And he's like, perfect. Let's help her out. So Carmen was the one who would reach out to me and then tell me, okay, so like, what are your goals, like, as far as, broadcasting journalism? So I laid it out for her. Like, I want to be, a news reporter and an anchor. And she's like, well, there's this position opening in Yuma. I'm going to get you in the news director's contact, which is Ernesto. So from there, it's kind of where it took off.
Okay, so she makes that. So did you reach out to Ernesto, or did she reach out, or
she gave me his number?
Gotcha. Okay.
She put me in contact. I think it was through an email first. She introduced me to Ernesto. Mind you, this is like my last day of like college, and I'm already like planning to get an interview already. So I was psyched. I was like, okay, maybe I won't be without a job.
Gotcha. And what year is this? Can you tell us?
Oh, this was December of 2022.
December of 2022. Okay. So you're graduating. Carmen, as like a mentor would, ask you your goals, wants to find out like, okay, where do you want to end up? And so she makes a call. She finds out Ernesto's looking for somebody.
Yeah.
And so then you reach out and then magic happens.
Magic happens, yes. But I really do appreciate Carmen so much because she has really, she laid it out for me. She told me, it's going to be tough because it is a starter market. She didn't sugarcoat anything for me. And I really do appreciate her for that because, a lot of people don't know what they're getting themselves into when it's like a starter market because it is difficult. It is hard, but it does set you up for greatness if you want to continue, being a reporter, a news anchor, a producer. It'll set you up good in life as far as like wherever you want to go.
Wherever you want to go, because in that starter market, you have to do a lot of things on your own, right? I remember because I've been around. I do public relations stuff for a lot of my clients, so I've been submitting news stories for years. And I remember some of the anchors, they would come in with like these tripods that we have in front of us, but these big ones and a big camera all by themselves. Yeah. One person, one gal, little gal, it's setting all this stuff up and doing everything. And she's like, okay, I got to run back and edit all of this myself and put it together and do it. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, the deadlines are insane. I don't think people understand like how crazy our deadlines are. Everything's turned in within the same day.
Within the same day, and then, but I still do that. Now it's pretty cool because you can show up with a phone. And if you have a good iPhone or something like that, it can show up with a phone and maybe like those Rode mics or something, clip it on and get the story that way. So you're not carrying this huge tripod anymore, but still starter market, you're doing it a lot by yourself.
Exactly, yeah.
So you get here, you're in Yuma, you're not in Cali anymore. What'd you think?
I was like, where am I?
Yeah, don't they?
I started actually first as a news reporter out in the Imperial Valley.
Oh, okay.
So I was living out in Calexico, and I was like, man, my backyard's literally the border wall.
Yeah. Did you go to Mexicali a lot?
Every once in a while.
Okay.
The good thing was that I did have my aunts there, so they took me across the border. We would go to nice restaurants.
Yeah, Mexicali's great.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. So, but I was like, man, this is...
So you're in Calexico. Where am I? And you're doing it. So how long have you been? So is that 2022 as well?
This was already 2023.
2023. Yeah. And you're there. And then how's the transition come to Yuma?
So I think I was reporting out there for like 9 months. And then they did need a fill-in anchor for 13 on Your Side. So then that's kind of where they, started asking me like, hey, can you start filling in for this anchor? So I was like, yeah, sure. So I was driving all the way from Calexico to Yuma at the time. And then eventually the anchor ended up leaving. So they're like, we need someone to, be the new anchor for 13 on Your Side. So they asked me to do it. And I said, yeah, of course. So while I was, being a news anchor, the evening news anchor, the drive still kind of sucked because, it's an hour drive back to the valley.
But this is obviously a step up.
Yeah.
So maybe that drive, even though, you have to do with that, but you're paying your dues still.
Yeah. So I really loved, being an anchor. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start looking for apartments out in Yuma if I'm there full time, So then that's when I made my move here in Yuma. And honestly, I think I really loved Yuma from the start. Yeah,
okay. So you loved Yuma. That's pretty cool. That's a good thing to say on What's Up Yuma Radio.
Yuma stole my heart. I was like, wow, this is great, because at the time when I was in the Valley, I was going through depression at the time. That, I love the people in the Imperial Valley. I think that's what kept me going, to be honest.
Yeah. So I came up in the hip hop world. I was a rapper. And a lot of my friends moved to bigger places like LA, Portland, Seattle, Vegas, and stuff like that. Like, we're going to make it. But I always no, I love Yuma, and I'd rather be the big fish in a small pond than try to go over there and navigate my world where I don't know anybody and to try to make it that way and sleep on couches for a long time. I'm going to stay here. So then, but you have the opposite thing. You worked at this place, or you grew up in this place where the Kardashians are 30 minutes away. You're used to seeing this type of production, but then you come to Yuma and something's about it, you're kind of like, and the depression goes away.
Yeah, you know what? And the more I got involved here in Yuma, I realized how awesome it is to be more. Everyone's so involved here. Everyone steps up to the plate. Someone's always helping somebody. And I think that's what really drew me in with Yuma, because we don't really have that back in LA. Everyone's kind of a little stuck up out there.
Stuck up maybe in their own world or something, a bit to a degree.
And it always feels like a competition out there. It always does. So when I came here to Yuma, it was like a breath of fresh air. Everyone was so nice and sweet, and I just loved it. Yeah.
So we do all work together. Even Victor, who's over in our newsroom over here, he has a question. He wants to know what's going on with that sinkhole. Did you cover that last night?
Yeah. So I was there actually last night for our breaking newscast. So, I was like, man, it's a little, I thought it was a pothole at first, right? Because it looked pretty small from the surface. But then once we got there, the workers were taking video of it, and man, that thing is really deep.
I saw a video of it before I got here. It was like, I'm like, oh my goodness, that thing is deep.
It is, yeah, it is bad. I didn't think it was that severe until I got there, and they were telling me like that could have been worse, honestly, because if a trailer were to have driven by it, that trailer would have collapsed down with it. So we're like, man, we're so glad that someone at least caught it and stopped it. So
you still go on the scene of things, because I think I even saw when there was that officer involved shooting that you went over there and you were live on the scene for that one.
Yeah. So we got word of it. So we had one of our reporters just literally going through social media and saw that Yuma Police Department posted about it. So he made his way over there and he calls me. Mind you, we're like 15 minutes before our 10 p.m. newscast. And I look over to my partner, my co-host, and I'm like, I got to go. We got to make this breaking news.
Oh, so, just like that. Yeah. Like you're by yourself, dude.
Yeah. Okay. And he's like, I got this. You go out there. So we get out there. There's not a lot of information, honestly. But that's what happens, you know, when it's breaking news. You can only tell like what you see. At the time, the public information officer did confirm with us that there was an officer involved shooting. But that was about it, because he's working on getting all those details for us. So all we can do is go out there, say, I'm just going to inform you guys, you know, this is what's happening in so-and-so street. You know, stay away from the area because there's a whole investigation going on. There's like yellow tape everywhere. So that's all we can do in a breaking news setting. I know a lot of people love to know more.
Well, yeah, and then people can get on social media like
exactly.
They get mad sometimes too. Like, give us more information. Yeah. It's like, but you don't want to make stuff up, right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
We don't want to put out false information.
No, absolutely not. You get in trouble for that. But so you've only been here for a while, but it seems like you moved up quite quickly. You're the assistant news director now. So even today, you said you're an Ernesto out there. You're going to go fulfill your dream of bossing people around as a director here after you get off this show here. But so, you know, one thing, people in Yuma, it's a starter market.
Yes.
So one day you're going to leave us. That's the way it works, right? Even though hopefully like a mark, and you know, you said you loved it here.
Yes.
You got to take that deep breath. But so what is the plans? What do you want to do?
Oh, you know, I still have I know I still want to do news.
Okay.
There's been times where I was like, man, I question it sometimes because it is hard. It gets to us. But I think the longer I've stayed in news, the more I'm like, I think I'm starting to find my purpose with I always come back to my why.
Why? Yeah.
Yeah.
Simon Sinek, if you know anything about that. But anyway, he has a whole book, Start With Why.
Yes,
go ahead.
Exactly. So my why always comes back. And, you know, I still want to be a reporter, be a news anchor. I'm really hoping to make my way back to LA, back home, because I kind of want to make that full circle moment.
Yeah, okay.
You know? So I think that'd be great. So I'm really going to work hard to make my way back home to my hometown.
Well, I think you're going to do it. You're very accomplished. You're only 21. It's crazy what you've been able to do in just these few years. But thank you for being with us today. You were last minute. I hit you up like, I don't have a co-host. Can you come on? It's like, I can come on as a guest. I was like, well, let's do it, because I had a guest counsel. So thank you for filling in at such a short notice. And I wish you nothing but the best of success in all of your career.
Thank you so much, Johnny. It was really a pleasure to be here. I really love Yuma, so this was awesome.
And we'll have to get you back when Carmen's here, so you guys can talk about the stories, and I can hear the chisme about Carmen and all that good stuff.
Exactly.
All right, and with that, we are going to take a break, and we'll be back with Dr. Destiny Johnson, talk about her new book right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
What's Up Yuma is sponsored by the 2 Welton locations of High Tanks Brewing Company. It's craft brewery and tap room, featuring scratch-made food and handcrafted beers, including Daphne's Date Ale and the Gila Hazy IPA. Also, live music and experiences such as farm tours and glamping are available. More at hightanks.com.
Next time on the Retro Cocktail Hour, we'll hear Henry Mancini from the TV show Mr. Lucky. Also, George Shearing plays, Nat King Cole sings, plus the sound of 50s exotica music. I'm Darrell Brogdon. Join me where the music is shaken, not stirred. The Retro Cocktail Hour.
Saturday evening from 7 to 9 on Border Radio KOFA.
For KEWC News, I'm Cisco Stargazer. The Yuma County Public Health Services District has put out an alert for pertussis, also known as whooping cough. As of January 23rd, there's been 1 confirmed and 7 probable cases in the county. Public health epidemiologist Cynthia Espinoza explained infants, pregnant women, older adults, and people with weakened immune systems are especially vulnerable.
It often starts like a common cold, like a runny nose, mild cough, low fever, and then after 1 or 2 weeks, the cough becomes severe. Sometimes it's followed by vomiting, or sometimes they do have the classic whoop sound. And infants may not cough at all, but they may have those spaces of that they stop breathing or they turn blue.
Per Espinoza, vaccination is the best protection, but if you suspect you or your child may have it, go see a doctor.
So if you have any doubt about being sick or having pertussis, seek early care because it will make a big difference. And stay home if you're sick.
For KAWC News, I'm Cisco Stargazer.
Ever wanted to be on the radio? Still talking into your hairbrush in the mirror? Border Radio needs you as a volunteer host. Share music, stories, and local conversations that matter. No experience necessary. We'll provide the training. Email info@borderradioaz.org or call 877-838-5292 for more information.
I'm Maria Hinojosa. This week on Latino USA. Colombian actresses Catalina Sandino Moreno, Sasha Calle, and Lina Esco star in the new crime thriller from Netflix, The Rip, alongside some of Hollywood's biggest names.
Ben Affleck got Matt Damon, Joe Carnahan. I mean, like, it's such a great group of people.
That's this week on Latino USA.
Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. on KOFA Border Radio 94.7 FM.
I'm Mike Suba, and I'm a big supporter of KAWC. You're getting a great source of information about our community, about the people that are working and living here, and you start going, you know what, this is really a valued service. And that's the great thing, is you've got a partnership here. And I'm a big believer in partnerships because the one thing I realized early on in life, I can maybe do a lot of stuff on a very limited basis, but when I start partnering up, it's amazing what we can do when we pool our resources. And so I hope that when people are listening to the station, enjoying the news broadcasts and the entertainment shows that are being presented, that they realize that you're not only the end user and enjoying what's being broadcast to you, but it can be a partnership too, where you can participate like I've discovered I can do and help get this service, enhance it, and provide even better programming. I'm Mike Suba, and I support KAWC.
KOFA Border Radio doesn't sound like any other radio station in Yuma. We are a non-commercial source for music from around the world, across the decades and local artists. Our hosts are volunteers. If you would like to get involved, send an email to music@borderradioaz.org.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up, Yuma Radio. We are here now joined by a doctor. A doctor is in the house. I'm talking about Dr. Destiny Johnson. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much, Johnny. And we go way
back. And so I'm such,
Yes.
I have to I got to really think when I say your name, because I want to say Dr. Destiny King, which Dr. King has a ring to it. I think there was a famous Dr. King out there.
There was.
Out there, somewhere out there. But could you ask your husband if you can get that back, just so you can be Dr. King for a little while?
King.
Yeah, can I have my old last name? I want to be Dr. King again. But you weren't a doctor when I met you.
I wasn't.
No, not at all.
No.
But so we've known each other since we were youngsters. I think I was 15 or whatever. But you've kind of had this trajectory that is, you're a doctor now. So, okay, we're going to find out how that happened. And let's start. You from here in Yuma?
I'm from here, and I like to say, like, before it was a Dr. Destiny, I'm just Destiny from the block.
Yeah,
you
Destiny
know?
from the block. Yeah.
I grew up in the hood. People laugh.
Yeah,
I grew
that's
up
all
on
good.
1st Street, 13th Avenue.
That is the hood. Oh, my goodness.
That's the hood, okay?
You might shank me right now.
I would, no,
okay, don't do that. No,
Jesus came in.
okay, I got you.
You know, but I grew up down there. I went to the schools here. I went to 4th Avenue, Woodard, Kofa Kings, love Kofa.
Yeah.
You know, and I went to AWC and things like that.
Shout out the Matadors right here.
Yes,
Thank you for housing this
so
show.
I'm right here from this community, so I'm just so excited to be here today.
So you said you grew up in the hood. So when you were younger, what did you think you wanted to do?
When I was younger, I wanted to be a teacher initially.
A teacher?
Yeah,
Okay.
I love children. I wanted to do that when I was younger. And then as I grew up and then as I experienced life and as I experienced friends, that kind of changed. I think life has a way sometimes of changing our trajectory.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? And so that changed a bit. So now I feel like I'm a teacher in a way, but for adults, helping them get up, mentor, get out of their own way and walk in their purpose.
Did you ever teach kids at all at any of that time?
I did. So
did?
Out of high school, I taught at Yuma Preschool.
Okay,
Remember
Yuma Preschool.
that was right around the corner from Kofa.
Yeah.
So I was a teacher there. Yeah.
We've had her on the show.
Sandy Curtis.
Sandy Curtis.
I love her. Shout out to Sandy. Love you.
My niece works there. Bethany's daughter works there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she works there right now. So you did teach, or you were a part of the kids at the preschool. Who's easier to teach, kids or adults?
Well, for the people
who's
in
more
the back.
stubborn? Yeah, who's more stubborn?
I feel like kids, I love how they're kind of open to learning, right? And you can and they learn very quickly. With adults, I think sometimes life gets in our way, challenges get in our way a little bit, so it kind of limits that until we kind of break free from all those challenges and those distractions. And I think even in my own self and my learning, I knew that I had to quiet the noise and quiet the distractions to really learn.
Yeah, teach me that. I'm distracted
day.
By everything, you know?
Oh, yes. It's like squirrel.
Yeah, that's what I always say. Squirrel, like, okay, I'm on to this next thing. I was supposed to do something, but thank God I have my notebook here. But so you did that a little bit there. So the career path, what'd you do after that?
So then after that, I worked out in Somerton. I worked for the school district out there for years. I was an HR specialist working with adults, and I learned that was really my foundation. I feel like, because I go to a lot of businesses and teach and do professional development, but I feel like never discredit the job that you're in right now.
That's such
You can learn
words of wisdom.
Yes, you can learn so much because in every job that I had, good leaders and the unhealthy leaders, I learned something.
Absolutely.
And I took that to where I am today.
And that's a good way of looking at it because, you're in this situation, like you said, either good or bad, but there's always something to learn for your next journey in life, whatever that next station's going to be. So you're doing that. So how'd you pull on this thread to become a doctor? Like you went to AWC for a little bit and you said, I want to go back to school?
Well, I looked at it and I thought, in the town that we live in, you have the military, you have school. What were my choices, And I thought, even as a little girl, I was like, there's more to me. There's more to this destiny, girl. There's more that I have to offer. But I didn't really know how to get there. And I also thought, I need to learn a couple of things. I need some tools in my tool belt. And so I got my AWC degree in business. And then I thought, after a few years, hey, let me go back to school again. So then I got my business degree in management. And then I said, I'm done. Like, my thesis, that's it.
What was your thesis on? You remember?
For business management, it was like I believe it was on like business organizations and how employees want to stay there or when they leave or just the trajectory of employees and stuff like that.
And maybe some retention.
So that was a lot of research for me, and I thought I was done. But then, Johnny, I decided to go to law school. So I'm like everywhere.
Yeah, you're like, you get bit by that bug, I guess. Why? Because you like to argue? Like, where's the law school thing?
I got a good argue under my belt. No, but I just love to help people.
Oh, gotcha.
Right? People would come to me like with family law issues and all those things, and I wanted to give them hope.
So people come to you, just for some advice and stuff like that. They look to you. So you're like, okay, I better pull on this thread a little bit more and go back to school.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I did that. And then I took a few years off, and then the last degree, final, is my organizational leadership doctorate degree.
So what is that one all about? Because I read that in the bio, but I don't know what that means. You're very organized, like, or No, okay, cool.
I am a little bit.
Yeah, gotcha.
But with organizational leadership, it's really taking leaders from where they are to where they want to be, taking organizations where you are and where you want to be, whether that's your business, whether it's in your faith or ministry, just because we all start somewhere, but we all need to grow. I mean, we're in a new year, 2026, and so this is an opportunity for us to grow to the next level. And then I know a lot of people in their jobs, they're like, I don't like my job, but it's just like, is it a job or are you here to learn something? Because you're here to grow, you know, and then when you have that growth, then you can move on to your next.
And it's almost like I've started to look at life a little bit like a video game, and you're talking about the moving on, like, okay, I'm not moving on because I haven't passed this level yet or something like that. I don't know what it is. Like, I can't really put too much words to it other than that. So you kind of believe something like that, like you haven't learned what you're there to learn.
Well, and I also say, too, don't let the place that you're in right now confuse you about who you are. Because
preach it.
Yes,
there we go.
Yes, for the people in the back. I needed to hear that some of my years, because a lot of times we are in that job, or a lot of times we're in that ministry and we're just like, gosh, this is all there is. I don't really like this. But maybe God is trying to work out some things in our character to take us where we want to go, because we have to be prepared, because I think that grace gets us there, but character keeps us there.
That's a good way of looking at it. And and you said, like, you know, obviously you want the success, you want to, like, I aspired or something like that. But I have learned, in vein of what you're saying, is, okay, sometimes if I get there and I rush there, I wasn't prepared. Like you said, I wasn't prepared, and I'm like, okay, oops, I need to take a few steps back because this is kind of overwhelming. So you're saying learn the lessons, and then when you get there, be prepared, and you could have a total different disposition.
Right, and it's okay to pivot. Right? Because this life isn't perfect. There's always something going on. There's always something happening. I think even in my own life, what I've learned, it's okay to take a pivot. And it's okay not to be okay, right? It's okay not to be okay, but it's not okay to stay there. And that's where mentorship comes in. That's really helped my life go on another level, is that because I needed somebody to speak into my life. We're not meant to do life alone, whether professionally or in our faith, but we need somebody alongside us.
Yeah, and you mentioned faith. When I originally met you, it was in church years ago, and that's been a theme throughout your life. And you found your mentor in church, correct?
I found my mentor during a really tragic time in my life, not in church.
Not in church. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to church at the time, and this was actually January of 2019. I was in a traumatic car accident. It was really, really bad. My car was completely totaled, and all I remember is I'm driving to work. It's a foggy morning, and then everything goes dark, you know. And when I wake up, there's smoke, airbags deployed, seatbelt constricted. I'm like feeling my legs, like, am I going to be able to walk again? And when life hits you, when you hit your lowest point, I feel like that's when you need something that's bigger than yourself. And going through that process and healing, you know, when I was at home, because there was no external scars, but sometimes those scars are internal.
Oh, that's traumatic, absolutely.
You know, and that's when my mentor came along.
Who was your mentor?
Real Talk Kim. Love
Real Talk
her.
Kim, okay.
You know her.
Yeah. I'm familiar with her. So she became your mentor and helped you expand and grow, correct?
Yes, and really get out of my own way, because after that accident, I had a lot of anxiety. I mean, even to drive to work was a lot. Even to get on a flight was a lot. My hands were shaking. It was a lot when I heard a siren. And I was like, I really need some healing in my life. And she helped me to get out of my own way. And she's like, God has a plan. God saved you for a reason. Now, what are you going to do with it?
It does, you know, traumatic stuff like that does give you a sense of purpose and urgency to a degree, correct?
It does. And I learned during that time, instead of just being mad at the situation, even being mad at God, instead of that, I learned to turn my pain into purpose. But it was a step, and it was a day at a time.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come on the other side of the break and talk about a little bit about this book, because you just over-accomplish. That's what you do. So, and then you also wrote a book that's available. We're going to talk about that, but we're going to do it on the other side of the break. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
Yuma Southwest Contractors Association is hosting its Career and Trades Expo from 9 to 2 on March 3rd and 4th at the Yuma County Fairgrounds. Open to middle and high school students, the event will provide hands-on trades experience and opportunities to explore career options within our community. Details at yswca.com.
This week on Arizona Edition, following the separate shootings of 2 American citizens by ICE agents in Minneapolis, the KAWC Student Newsroom spoke with local protesters in Yuma.
I feel like this has gone further than politics. This is killing people. This is murdering everyone in general.
Plus, veterans in Yuma County will have a new outpatient clinic that will save them from going out of town for care. And it's School Choice Week in Arizona. Arizona Edition, Saturday at 10 a.m. on KOFA 94.7 FM Border Radio.
The weather forecast for Yuma today is sunny and breezy with a high near 77 and gusts as high as 20 miles per hour. Clear tonight with a low around 49. In Prescott, sunny with a high near 60 and gusts as high as 17 miles per hour. Clear tonight with a low around 30. Sunny in Kingman with a high near 64 and gusts as high as 22 miles per hour. Clear tonight with a low around 41. And in Flagstaff, sunny with a high near 49 and gusts as high as 22 miles per hour. Clear this evening with a low around 22.
The NPR Tiny Desk Contest is open for entries through February 9th. Local musicians are invited to submit a video of an original song performed behind or near a desk. The winner will be featured on air and on tour. Need a place to record? We can provide studio space. Call us at 928-344-7690.
Run by music lovers like yourselves, KOFA Border Radio has what you need. A non-commercial home filled with music heard from all over the world. Tune in at 94.7 FM, 1320 AM on the KOFA app or at borderradioaz.org.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up, Yuma Radio. We are here speaking with Dr. Destiny Johnson. And again, I always want to say King, but I'm not going to do it. We're talking about how she became an author. We're going to get to that. And so you had Real Talk Kim, who did the forward for the book, so that's pretty cool. But she was a mentor of yours, but you're a mentor now, right? You're a coach, like you've assumed that role. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, I'm a leadership coach now, and I do that both faith-based and then professionally as well. And
does that mean like you don't bring so much of the faith part of it professionally? Like if somebody just wants to reach out to you, they can have like for lack of a better word, like a secular or neutral conversation?
Well, what usually happens, I found in the professional world, is I start to mentor them and help them with that professional development. And then this happens more times than not, when they'll tell me, there's something different about you.
Oh, okay. Then you can kind of lead
through that door of my faith, right? You know, I don't think we really have to hit people over the head with the Bible.
No, that would be horrible.
No.
Yeah.
You know, but we can be that walking light.
Mm-hmm.
And people will ask, what is that? What makes us different in a world that's so negative? What makes me different? And I walk through that door. But then I also help them get their business, organize their business, team building, and all of that.
So then you get your Ph.D. and then you become this coach? Is that how it works?
Well, actually, I was coaching and mentoring people way before my PhD.
Way before, okay.
Yes.
So you learned from Real Talk Kim, she's helping you, and then you provide that same type of structure for other people.
Similar? A little bit of that. So I would speak at conferences. Like a few years ago, I spoke at a conference like with 1,000 people on leadership, and that's when I knew I wanted more education just to be able to facilitate and help with that. And I didn't really walk really boldly in my purpose, Johnny, honestly, until I was at a conference one day, and this lady comes up to me, and I thought, I didn't do a great job. She walks up to me and she said, you know what, you sharing your story gave me hope. She's like, I walked in and I was done. I was going to give up. And she had been through some trauma in her life, but she said, but hearing your story, and I really learned in that part that my story can be someone else's survival guide. All the hell, and why not use our hell for something?
Yeah,
we walk through hell,
yeah.
a lot of hell, but why not use it to bring others hope? And so that really, I thought there's something here. And then so I kept walking forward. I got a mentor, went to school, got around a good tribe, because who you surround yourself with matters.
Yep.
You know, so that's how kind of I got there.
Yeah, and so shout out to Lucinda. She's probably been one of the mentors in life, right?
Yes. Lucinda Bloomfield at Champion Church, shout out. Good morning. I love her so much. And she has been a powerhouse also in my life. And I'm actually speaking at her conference coming up in March.
Okay, so
Real Talk Kim. Kim.
Is that the women's conference that they do annually?
It is,
okay, we'll have to get her to talk about that.
Yeah,
coming
March
on.
13th and 14th. So I'll be one of the workshop speakers there talking about my book, hugging on people. So come see me. I would love to see you there.
Yeah. So, okay, then how does it, you learn things, you've went through hell. How does it all come into this book here that's titled Awaken Your Divine Destiny by Dr. Destiny Johnson?
So I go through all of these challenges. I go through my hill and I start to mentor people. And the more that I talk to people and the more I kind of don't hide my background, I don't hide my stories. Because for a long time, Johnny, honestly, I wanted to hide the things that I've been through in my life. But I realized if I'm hiding that, it doesn't bring other people healing.
Right. And I'm going to just say something on a very basic level of it. When I first got into radio, I was trying to be very robotic almost. A degree, and I didn't want to mess up and stuff like that. And then my mentor in radio came in and it's like, Johnny, you can't be that way. They want to hear the flaws.
Yes.
They have to hear it. Like, you're not relatable unless you do that. So just put it out there. Because I was we would record our breaks. We would record it so it's pre-recorded. And I would just sit there, re-record. Do it again. And it never got to that point where I was satisfied. He said, just put it out there. And then I remember the first time I did that, I got good feedback on Facebook. It was so strange, and people are like, "That was really good today. You kind of messed up on that, but that was cool." Like, hey, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." So so you don't hide anymore. You're being real, and then you're seeing it's become effective.
Yet it's impacting other people's lives, and I always love to tell our listeners today that your story can positively impact someone's life. You can make an impact that I can't make, that you can't make, but we can't hide behind those things that maybe mistakes that we made in our life. I love to tell people I'm from the south side of heaven. I really need Jesus. I really need. But I say that because I'm a real person. But if there's hope for me, there's hope for you.
Mm-hmm. So then, the book, you just started to write one day. So tell me how this came into being.
So one day I was thinking, and God had really started to put upon my heart. Sometimes it's like, you feel that I have to be doing something more with my life. I have to make a difference, a lasting difference. And so I started writing a little bit. And then Real Talk Kim, of course, she's like, Destiny, you need to write a book. I'm like, are you sure about that?
Yeah, when your mentor tells you,
and she's a best-selling author. I'm like, I'm not there yet. She goes, you need to do it. Why are you holding back? So I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. But as I started to write, it's actually very healing, right? Because as you start to go back to some of those places, as you start to go back to some of those dark
So you get real in the book.
I get real in the book. And it's not just my testimony, but testimonies of other people. There's strategies of how to awaken, how to walk through. I'm awakened. What do I do next? And so that was very healing. And then I knew that I was helping other people. And so I started to write. And then I just and it was published in November on Amazon. Super excited. But yeah.
So did you start to look at how to publish a book? You kind of pull on that thread? Because I know Lucinda's wrote some books too. So she probably was able to guide you on some processes.
Yeah, she's wrote Frontline Woman, Lucinda Bloomfield, a powerful, powerful book. And I had, talking about the circle. So from Pastor Lucinda, Real Talk Kim, I have a friend named Tom that he's a publisher. And I'm in the inner circle, Real Talk Kim's inner circle. So all of us are writing, doing things, I'm surrounded by that. So I had so much guidance and so much help to get me kind of on that path where I didn't have to learn by myself. And that's what I love to do.
And you kind of mentioned the tribe and having the people around you. So it tells you I can do this, right? It gives you a little bit more confidence because you see somebody else has already kind of blazed that trail, right?
It's so true. And I really believe that your tribe is either going to elevate you or they're going to hold you back. And I'm not saying cut off people, don't be good at the cutoff game on Facebook and all that stuff.
Yeah,
but what I'm just
you're
saying,
blocked and stuff like that.
You're blocked, then next week somebody else is blocked. But really who you surround yourself, are they cheering for you? Are they lifting you up? Are they telling you what you want, what you need to hear, not what you want to hear? Are you getting to the next level with those people that you're surrounding yourself with? Because I really had to look at that. And I would not be here today if it wasn't for God, but it wasn't for the people that I surround myself with.
Okay, so the book just came out in November, you said.
Yes.
How long did it take you to write it?
Well, let me just say this. Honestly, it took me 2 years.
2 years.
But not because it takes 2 years. I love to say that it does not take 2 years. But as I start to work through these things, I realized there's some areas I still needed healing in. So I was writing and healing as I went. And then once I was done, pins down, I said, okay, here it goes. And it just has impacted so many people, from women to men. Guys are so surprised, Johnny.
Oh,
they're
really?
just
Okay.
like, man, Destiny, I read that. I got a lot out of that. So it's impacting people. And not just people of faith, people that don't know God.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You know, because we all need a hope. in this life,
everybody.
you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
So you wrote it. It came out in November. How'd that feel?
It felt really, really good. It just kind of one of those things when, you know, when I first saw it on Amazon, I'm like, man, that hell was worth it. You know, because
Yeah,
we go through some
absolutely.
stuff and we're like, why? Life is like lifing sometimes, and we're going through stuff. But now I know the why. It's so that it's almost like firefighters, right? When you go into the fire to rescue people, I was rescued. God helped me through so many things. But now it's my turn to get a hand up to help and give people hope. And that's what this is about.
Absolutely. So tell everybody, you said Amazon, tell everybody again the name of the book, where they can get it, and then that conference that you're going to be at, and all your socials and all that good stuff.
Love that. So you can buy Awakening Your Divine Destiny on Amazon right now. It's $19.99. And then you can follow me on Instagram, Dr. Destiny Inspires, on Facebook, YouTube, Dr. Destiny Johnson, and TikTok. I'm also on there. And then I'm going to be speaking at the Women's Conference March 13th and 14th at Championing Church. I'll be also in Atlanta again at Real Talk Kim's Conference in July. So many great things. I'm a speaker, I'm an author, I'm a mentor, and I would like to help you level up, get out of your own way, and walk in your purpose.
There we go. Dr. Destiny Johnson from the hood back in the day. I remember, when we were 15 and all that good time. Thank you so much for being with us. I really appreciate it. And with that, I'm going to read some stuff. And this is my first time without a co-host, so let me see if I get it. What's Up Yuma Radio is a production of KAWC, Colorado River Public Media. We broadcast from our studios in the Matador Activity Center at Arizona Western College in Yuma. We want to thank Talon, Anthony Arnales, Juan Garcia, and Dave Reek. You can find out more about KAWC at KAWC.org on Facebook and KAWC Radio and at the KAWC app. Stay tuned following our program for KOFA's Midday program. And on Monday's show, you're just going to have to wait and figure out who we're going to have on when we're back on Monday. And you can listen to the podcast version of our program and check out past episodes anytime at KAWC.org/podcast.
What's Up Yuma is sponsored by High Tanks Brewing Company, serving up scratch-made food, craft beers, and experiences at 2 desert locations in Welton. More at hightanks.com.
Broadcasting from Yuma campus of Arizona Western College for more than 55 years, this is Border Radio, 94.7 FM, KOFA Yuma. We also broadcast at 1320 AM in Yuma, at KAWC.org, and on the KOFA app.
The Arizona Historical Society will be presenting a weekend of Yuma history, February 6th and 7th in Yuma's historic downtown. A part of Yuma's Redondo Days, events will include trivia at Prison Hill Brewing, a historic walking tour, and an in-person talk exploring Yuma and the American West. Details are on the Arizona Historical Society Facebook page.
I'm Debbie Russ with the BBC News. President Trump has